Hi guys, welcome to my video. In this video I'm going to be discussing some basics for military and economic infrastructure. Just pretty much basics. I'm playing as a Vanguard commander right now just because they're kind of the standard. I'm not going to be diving too deep into what makes the Vanguard unique from the other races. I didn't even click perks. You can see I have no perks up on the board and just standard equipment. That's just because I wanted to really focus on kind of baseline economic and military strength across all the races. No matter who you play as, this is going to be just a video to kind of introduce you to ideas to improve your military and economic strength, as well as cover some of the baseline resources and strategies for the early game. Starting with the 4 basic resources of the game, which is power, food, production, and research. At the beginning of every game, you're faced with this decision of what central structure are you going to build on your base. It's not the biggest deal, but it is important to understand what exactly you are building towards. Now, if you come over here to the colonist tab, you can actually prioritize certain things. You can prioritize food, you could deprioritize food, you could prioritize 2 things at once if you want, split your colonists up. But what's the point of all this? What are the resources really for? And that's what I wanted to cover right now. So think of food as your economic foundation. Food is going to be your growth. That's how quickly you can expand, is based on your food. The more food you have, the faster you can expand, the further you can expand, and the better you can stabilize your expansion. Also, it's how you generate colonists. So the more food you have, the more colonists you have, and the more you can add on to prioritizing each one of the economic resources that there is. The fewer colonists you have, the less you can do that, the more stuck you are with the resources you're generating at a baseline. As the game continues to go into middle and late game, you'll notice that colonists are worth even more as the game goes on, as new doctrines are passed and as new researches are founded. So it's important to remember that food is your economic foundation. Energy is your military foundation. Energy dictates and governs all different sorts of things, from the units you can build, to their upkeep per turn, to even the military structures that defend your colonies, and the militia that defend your annexes. These are governed by energy. The more energy you have, the more units you can have. The stronger military you can have, the bigger military you can have, and the more your military capabilities are. So think of energy as your military might. The more energy you have, the stronger your military can be. It also governs whether or not you can buy mods. While Cosmite is a contributing factor to that as well, energy is part of that. And you'll see that the more energy you have, the more Cosmite you have, the more accessible mods are, even the higher level mods. So remember, energy is how strong your army is, from building the unit, to upkeeping it, to modding it, and making them stronger. It boils down to production is simply the speed at which you do things. That sums it up nicely. It's how quickly you build units, it's how quickly you build structures. Production is simply how fast you do things. The higher the production, the faster you do things. The lower your production, the slower you do things. A production of 500 lets you build several things in a single turn. A production of 50 will take longer to build those same structures. So just remember, production is the speed at which you do things. Knowledge can be seen as your experience. The more experience you get, the higher level you become, the more is available to you. In that same way, knowledge, the more knowledge you have, the more research you can unlock, and the more technology, the more mods, the more structures, the more powerful economic tools and military tools are available to you. If you play the game without ever investing in knowledge, you're going to stay at level 1. If you put a lot into knowledge, you will level up quicker. That's the concept behind knowledge. Think of it as your level and your experience. Think of happiness as your critical meter that you build up, and when it's full, you get to do a critical economic event. This will double the effects of one of your resource generations for that turn. I think that pretty much sums it up nicely. In the same way, RPG, you have your crit chance, where when you strike a crit, it does double damage. In the same way, happiness is your economic crit chance. You build up your critical meter, your happiness meter, and when it's full, you get a critical event that doubles your resource production on one of the 4 resources. Deciding on which one of the 4 central structures you want to build, you should build, it's based on understanding where you want to point your economy at first. Do you want stronger military? Stronger economy? Faster economy or military growth? Or more experience per level? There's really not a wrong choice when it comes to this decision. But knowing what resource you want to focus on at first and capitalizing on what that resource governs can help you get the edge in a match. These are the fundamentals of the 5 basic resources of Planetfall. It may take some time to master the depths of the economic system, but this is the first step on that journey. A journey of conquering worlds, forging empires, and ushering in a new age of wonder.